afternoon. This is Police 10-8 Talk. I'm Officer Bosco. Today I'm going to be doing basically just a real short review on a rifle that I hold dear. It is a Century Arms C-93. This is actually also my patrol rifle at the police department I work at. It's pretty unconventional. It's not an AR-15. I'm a huge H&K fan, and luckily I have a chief that let me carry it. The great thing about these guns is if you like H&K, you can actually afford this one. It's not $3,000. You can get these for about $650 give or take. The magazines are a little bit harder to get. I do have different magazines. The one I'm going to be shooting from today when I demonstrated are Pro Mags. The Pro Mags magazines you can get for about 20 bucks. They're very reliable. They're feed like butter. I've never had a problem with them. One thing about these magazines, you do have to modify them, and actually there's a video on YouTube that shows you how to modify these magazines for the C-93. Basically this rifle here is, to me, has the things you need for patrol. The two main things that it needs is basically a good sling, which I have a 3-point sling on here, and a flashlight. These are just things you need on a rifle because you never know if you're going to be on a perimeter. You may be out there for hours. You may be out troping through the woods somewhere, and it's nice to have a sling where you're going to be running this thing for hours because you never know what you got. The thing with the light is you never know when you may need it. Even if you're going in a dark building in the middle of the daytime, you still need light whether you like it or not. I've seen some officers work day shifts that never carry flashlights, and I still can't understand that. But they're like, hey, it's daytime. Well, yeah, but you can go in a dark building even during the daytime. This is what I basically call my PPR, or properly pimped out rifle, which is my personal phrase. Basically got everything I need on it. It's very basic, but it's very simple, but it's very effective. This one has the H&K extendable stock on it, which is nice. So that way when you're trying to store it, you can pop it down and it takes down the length, but probably about a good 7-8 inches. So it makes it easier when you're storing it in your patrol car, which in my car basically goes in a soft case in the front seat. But that way you can also you can use it as a brace. Or the one thing I do like about the 3-point sling is if you don't have time to deploy the brace, basically what the ability a 3-point sling gives you is basically you can still aim the rifle and you can actually still shoot it at close range because you're basically using the sling as your stock. You're basically using it for stabilization. Now to fire this gun, it basically has a simple fire safety switch on this side. It's not select fire, I wish it was, but it's not. Just standard safe and fire on it. You got the magazine release, which is a standard button style. Okay, now to cock this rifle, this is the charging handle for it, so it's a lot different than an AR-15. What you do is you pull this back, move it up, and you lock it into place, and now it's ready to go. H&K recommends with their rifles that when you're loading, like if you go in an empty magazine, you pull this back, push it up, lock it, insert a new mag, and slap this back down like that to reload. That's their recommendation. You can actually just pull it back like that and charge it as well, but one thing with these rifles, you got to make sure that you let it go fully back into battery on its own on the spring tension like that, or else sometimes you will get misfires or it will jam. You need to make sure it goes back on its own recoil. I do have a Walther green dot scope on it. It's just a basic scope. What it does is essentially you see a green dot right where the front side is, so if you're in a dark room or something like that, when you're looking through the rear side, all you got to do is look for the green dot, and you know you're picking up your front side off of it. It's real basic, it's simple, it's made by Walther. It's like $30, so it's not very expensive, but it works every time you shoot it. The one thing I do like about this rifle is it's a little bit heavier than an AR-15 just because of the fact that it's all steel. You know, other than the polymer lower, the rest of this gun is pretty much all steel. So it's got a little bit of weight to it. And what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to squeeze off some shots real quick so you can see what it's like when it fires. So stand by, let me load up, and we'll fire some shots real quick, okay? Another thing about these magazines too, unlike the AR-15s, to load these, you have to essentially push them in like this and then slightly rock them back to get them to lock. Okay, very similar to like an AK-47 magazine, because there's a little lip in here that you have to get the front of that top of that magazine onto it and then rock it back, and it's what keeps it in place. Okay, so these mags do not drop. When you eject these magazines, it's a European designs. These mags do not drop. They pop out like that, and you got to pull them and grab them to get them out. Okay, which is a plus or minus. You know, for fast reload, you're not going to be able to do it too fast with this rifle because that's just the way this rifle was designed. It's European. That's just the way it is. And this design's probably about a good 40, 50 years old, but the rifle is still effective. Okay, what I'm gonna do right now is just squeeze off some shots, okay? Okay, going hot?
Hot.
I'm gonna show you some with the stock down, so you can fire it with the stock down as well, like I was telling you. Okay, that's another important thing about this rifle too. When it gets empty, there is no bolt hole open on it like on an AR-15. You'll know when you hear click that it's empty. Like I said, if you reload, pop this back, pop this mag out, and like I said with HK, you pop it back in and slap this back down and it'll get another round in the chamber. Okay, and that's just a brief little explanation of my patrol rifle, which is a C-93 made by Century International Arms. Out of, I believe they're out of Delray Beach, I believe is where their office is out of now. Thank you very much, and welcome back to Police 10-8 Talk. Just remember, be safe and watch your six. Thank you.
228 10-8.